Right guys, Friday night, so we're back to the naughty stuff tonight. We're going to do Currywurst brats. So they're the big German sausages that you get, you know, when you go to like the Christmas markets and stuff like that. We're going to twist them up, we're going to do it with a Currywurst ketchup, and we're going to do it with onion bhaji strings, a little bit of mint yoghurt, and a little bit of coriander on top. So real sort of pimped up hot dog. Right, so the brats, nothing fancy about them. I just get the ones from Lidl. They're about £2. So all I've done is I've given them 2 minutes in a little bit of water in the microwave, and then all I want to do now is just get a little bit of colour on them in the pan. You can use a griddle pan if you want, no problem. I just like that sort of, I like the skin to be a bit more crunchy, a bit more coloured up. So just going to turn them around. So the Currywurst, that'll just be for me because Stacey won't even entertain that. She just had it plain Jane, sautéed onions and ketchup. So the one I'll be doing tonight is just purely for me. So we're just going to get a little bit of colour on these. You can see. So a little bit of colour on them, and then once they're coloured up, just going to pop them in the oven. The good thing with the brats is they're generally already cooked. They're like poached off and they're already cooked. So we're basically just looking at reheating them. They're not going to be pink in the middle. It's just to reheat. So the next job is the onion strings. We've done these before. It's similar to when we did the onion bhajis, but obviously we don't want them to stick together, so we want to make them a little bit lighter. So for this we need some flour. I'll put the exact recipes up either today or tomorrow. So we've got some flour. This is basically just for dusting, so it'll be about 100 grams or something. And then I'm using tandoori spice. I want to get a good bit of kick in there. So about a tablespoon. You can go a bit more if you want. You can go chilli in it if you want as well, if you like that good bit of kick. So that's the tandoori in with the flour. We're going to do a little bit of onion granules as well in there. Just put them through. Like I say, I'll put the exact recipes up as always. This is just sort of giving you the method, so you'll be able to pair them both up together. So, right. It starts to change colour a bit as well. Don't know if you probably can't see with that light. It's changed colour, sort of got more of a red colour. So that's perfect for the onions now. The other bit that we need is just some milk. So that goes in the other container. I'm just using trays, I just find it easier. So I'm using deep like pie tins. Just find it easier to get them all like covered properly in the flour. Right, so we've got 2 onions peeled. Like I said all the way along, cut it at the speed that you feel comfortable, yeah? So go slowly. You notice, I'll show you a little chef's tip with this. You notice my fingers, I hold them like this. So when I'm holding them like that, and I run it down that finger, so there's no finger in the way, that's being guided by one finger. I think you can see there. So when I go down, there's no chance of really cutting it because I'm guiding it with that finger there. And the other fingers are out of the way. So if you like that, and then you're just guiding it down that finger, so the fingers are actually out of the way. So you're not going to cut yourself. And that's how we can get it like really, really fast. Like that. Because we know that that finger's not in the way. So we're just guiding it down like that. And it's just practice. you'll start off nice and slow, and then the more confidence you get with that stance, so that's the stance that you want, and it just goes down that top bit of your finger, yeah? So your other fingers are curled in, so it's out of the way. That's just a little chefy tip. So, right, what we need to do now is these sliced onions, they're going to go in to the milk first. This is definitely not one of the 400 calories ones. So, this is just a normal Friday night meal for you. So, the onions are straight into the milk. Get them all covered, and then take a small amount at a time. I would say just a small handful and sprinkle them into the flour. So we want to get them nice and coated and do it bits at a time, and then sprinkle off any excess flour. You can use a sieve if you want. I got into trouble with a sieve though, because we've got this plastic one, and I think I used it for something with I think I used it for something hot, and it's sort of shrunk a lot now. So that's still pretty much a sore point in our house. Right, so just sieve off the excess flour. Really hot pan or fryer. So it was just under half with oil, because obviously it'll expand when it's hot. So straight in, and you'll hear them sizzle. We can start coating the next ones. And we just coat them exactly the same in that mixture. So it's just a little twist on like an onion bhaji. So we're taking the traditional hot dog, changing it for a brat. We're taking the traditional fried onions, we're changing them for bhaji strings. I'll just wash my hands. And then we're changing the traditional ketchup for the currywurst. So it's all pretty classic, but we're just sort of twisting the flavours up a little bit, which is what it's all about, and it keeps it nice and interesting as well. So they don't take long at all. Straight out. The smell, amazing. Right, so we need to just take them all out, and then they don't need to be piping hot when you serve them. I don't mind them sort of room temperature, just to give you that bit of crunch. Right, next lot in, that's that done. And then once you've got everything ready, they're quite quick meals again. And you're going to get something that you'd probably pay about 12 quid for somewhere that's cost you next to nothing. I think the brats are about £2. So we've got 2 onions. The rest of the spices you're gonna have in anyway, if you're following a lot of the recipes that we've been doing. Tomato ketchup everyone's got in. So you're literally looking the brats, the onions, and the buns, and that's it. So the brats, you get 6 in a portion for 2 quid. The buns are about 2 quid, so that's 4 quid, but you can serve 6 people. So you're probably about 5 quid. You're less than a quid a portion. So the next, I'll show you these now. These are real super crispy and like really coated, and they'll taste like Indian spices. Absolutely beautiful. So just give that a little bit of heat. So the next job that we're going to move on to is that currywurst. So it's basically, we've twisted a ketchup, that's all it is. But it's gonna pack a good little bit of flavour to it. Right. So we get the last lot out. I've probably done too many there, seeing as it's only meat. But never mind. Right. So that oil's done now. So we turn that off, yeah? Remove it from the heat, and then we can forget about that. We don't need to worry about it. So that's the onion strings done. So the last job to do, because remember we don't need to worry about the brats, they're in the oven, they're just keeping warm. There's literally no cooking on them because they're already poached. So, in the blender, or you can do it by hand, we need ketchup, around 6 tablespoons of ketchup. This is the thing that's going to form the base of your currywurst. Next, we've got 2 teaspoons of smoked paprika. A couple of the recipes that we've done already call for smoked paprika, so we've got it in already. Onion granules. We used that with, I think we used that with the under 400 calorie kebabs, I think, or the curry, one of them. Next, turmeric. Gonna hit it with 2 teaspoons of turmeric. Garam masala. I'm going to do 2 of these. Garam masala. And then I'm using a mild chili. If you want it like with a big kick, use like extra hot or something like that. So we're going to do 2 of them as well. They're in. I'm just going to waz this in the blender. If you don't have a blender, don't worry. Right, then. Yeah. Smells nice. I tell you, I'm absolutely crying my eyes out with those onions. Told you I was weak. Oh, they're really strong now. It's not good for me, that. Right, so. Ketchup. And that's going to pack a good punch, that. I tried to find a squeezy bottle earlier from town, but no one seems to sell them anymore. That's him crying with those onions. Right. Just gonna open the door. Literally making me like pour with tears. Right, so next is I've just got these brioche buns. I think those Saint Pierre. I just got them from Morrison's. Use whatever. If you just want to use a normal hot dog roll, use a normal hot dog roll. Right, so the brats are out. Oh my! These onions have killed me tonight. Right, so the hot dog goes in, or the brat. Shouldn't really call them hot dogs. So the brat goes in. Next, the currywurst sauce. A little bit of ketchup on top, just like that. If you've got, like I said, I did try and get a squeezy bottle, you can do a little pattern. It doesn't really matter. So, the onion strings are next. They're going to go on. Like that. Just load it all up. This is going to be immense. Right, so what I've made earlier is the yogurt and mint sauce. That's in the topics in the recipes. It's the kebab sauces that we used. So it's the yogurt one out of that. We're just going to add a little bit of that to there. Just to the top. Still crying over those onions. I'm a bit shut me. Right, so a little bit of fresh coriander or mint, whatever you've got lying around. Next, few onion seeds, add just like this, just gives it a nice little bit of colour. Right, so, how quick was that? Let me spin you around. Right, so, currywurst, onion strings, a little bit of yoghurt on top. I don't know how much you think we'd pay for that, but I think you'd pay quite a bit, you know, going out eating that. And it tastes absolutely amazing. So, right guys, that's another quick, easy one for you. So, quick brat, currywurst with the onion strings. Right, cheers for watching.